Welcome to the Australian Championship.
Shot up the post and in. Continue to make history.
This rivalry burns as bright as ever.
That is just spectacular. It's incredible. Very clever.
Australian Championship Round 2 continues, and it brings us to Deakin Stadium in the nation's capital. A huge moment for Canberra Croatia as they represent the capital NPL on the nation's stage and now get their first home game in this competition. Facing them are fierce and ambitious Preston Lions, who embark on their first away day after 3 points was snatched away from them last weekend at the death, and so they'll be out to take all three here today. Will Constantinidis here with you, an absolute pleasure to be bringing you this Group C clash in Round 2 of the Australian Championship. Hope you've been enjoying the action so far. There's the Javapi, the Kebapi, whichever persuasion you are, and however you call it, it is a fantastic day of football. Great conditions, as you can see on screen. 22 degrees, a slight breeze, no rain at all, should be said. Let's take a look at how things are shaking down in Group C. This is game 1. Another one will be coming later to you this afternoon as Spirit will host Avondale FC. But you can see there, Preston Lions just a 1 point after they drew with Spirit FC last weekend. Canberra went down 3-1 to Avondale away from home, but now they get a second chance at NPL Victoria opposition. There are the teams lining up, our officials crew, as they'll take us through this one. Our referees, Tom Dale, Thomas Galatli, Aranath Gobinath, and our fourth official, Jake Rose. There are the teams, Canberra Croatia sporting the traditional red and white, Preston Lions in their away strip for the first time in the white. Canberra Croatia, that 3-1 loss away, looking to get all 3 points here today. So there's the Who You Think Will Win poll. A reminder, you can scan the QR code on your screen. Have your say as to who you think will win this one. Preston will probably be favourites, given the relative stature of the two teams and their respective NPLs. But Canberra showed that they can really test opposition. They were very close to going 2-2 had it not been for a big save by Avondale goalkeeper Thomas Manos. Meanwhile, for Preston, they looked very good throughout the 90 against Spirit FC. But a late goal at the death meant it would go down as a 1-1 draw, so they'll know that they'll need to be clinical against a side that was defensively solid through the first 45 last week. So here's the team for Canberra Croatia. Dino Grinich's side make a couple of changes from the team that lost to Avondale. Nicholas Pratazina drops to the bench, their top scorer, and the NPL Capital Golden Boot will be coming off the bench for them today as note. New signing Shoki Yoshida is included after his goal made things interesting late on. You hear the crowd making plenty of noise. Here's the Preston lineup for Louis Isevsky. A couple of changes for him as well. Notably, it will be the Preston debut of two players, Damian Bozanovsky and Adisu Bayu, who are new signings to the club for the Australian Championship. They also joined in the starting 11 this week by new inclusion John Albano, who makes his first appearance in the starting lineup after coming off the bench last weekend. There are referees. Tom Dale out in the middle, keeping an eye on proceedings. You can hear the crowd coming through. It's great joy of these Australian Championship venues. You get the big venues, you get the smaller venues, but the atmosphere is all good either way. There's the lineup. You can see the Bozanovsky brothers, Matt and Damien. They won't be the first brothers to play in the Australian Championship because on the other end, Nick and Marko Jadric from Canberra, Croatia played together in the Australian Championship in round 1 for Avondale. Congratulations as well to the Bozanovsky family. Good to see both their boys on the pitch together, starting at the heart of defence together today. There are the captains, Matthew Godbisher, filling those duties. Big responsibility on his hands today as the home captain. Canberra Croatia, they'll swap over. Luke Jago doing the business for Preston Lions. Godbisher, a long time veteran of Canberra Croatia. 270 NPL games for the club. Returned to the club in 2025 after a season away. There is, you can see in the number 13 jersey, Adisu Bayu. keen-eyed fans will remember him from his time at Western United when he was an A-League men champion. He makes his debut in a new national competition on a new stage here today. Canberra Croatia fans finding their voice. I've been told a contingent have travelled up from Melbourne to support the Preston Lions. Of course, fellow Macedonian community club Queen Bee City also lending a helping hand to the travelling Preston fans as well. And there is Jason Romero, the man who got Preston's first goal in the Australian Championship last weekend. He will play just off the striker today. The main man up top will be Luke Francis. They possess plenty of firepower through the Preston Lions, especially with Adisu Bayu coming into the team now as well. John Albano, experienced NPL player, first season at the club via the Melbourne Knights. And all eyes on the centre of the park right now. There are the onlooking fans getting their first taste of Australian Championship action here in Canberra. All at the referee's discretion right now as we wait for this Group C round 2 game to get started. You can see the Queen Bee City and travelling Preston Lions fans there as well. We've got kickoff at Deakin Stadium, a 1,500 capacity stadium, but it'll sound a lot louder than that today. It's Australian Championship, the atmosphere, the community feel to this game. And with Canberra taking on another NPL Victoria side, they'll have it all to do. We're considered outsiders coming into this game to get out of the group, but a win here will do wonders for that as Max Green tries to get the other side of Dom Felino. Whitehead turning has found Cole Bataldo. Slight change in midfield for Canberra Croatia today. We'll get to that in just a moment. They've opted for just the one holding midfielder today with Shandon Whitehead. Mickey Yadrich was under an injury cloud coming into the game, so he's dropped out of the squad. He was part of the double pivot with Shandon Whitehead last weekend. And Daniel Cole Bataldo was operating as the sole attacking midfielder. Here's Marko Yadrich alongside him today. Yadrich came off the bench and got the assist for Shoki Yoshida's goal. So those two are rewarded with getting a start here today. There's Yadrich. Yoshida has come off the wing. One back in midfield by Preston as they try and go forward. It's nabbed up, but only as far as Cole Bataldo. Cole Bataldo again receiving, tried to link up with Ahmed Shaibu. Instead it's taken away by Preston and they can get forward here. Romero has taken off him. Whitehead had to quickly scramble across to get there. It's fallen at the feet of Ahmed Shaibu now. Cole Bataldo. Canberra Croatia fans enjoying what they're seeing so far. Out wide to Max Green. Looks to take it towards the byline, cutting it back, looking for Ahmed Shaibu. And Preston just put bodies in the way, but the job isn't done yet. Good save down low by Ryan Scott. The first action of the game as he has to deny Marko Yadrich from inside the area. And now Preston can think about the counter. John Albano is in a hurry. One back well by Luke Jago. And it's a fast start to proceedings here in Canberra. A quick replay. A little earlier, Yadrich, a good look at it. Came to him quickly, but fairly easy enough effort for Ryan Scott to deal with. But these are positive signs early from Dean Ugrinich's side. They were resigned to defending for most of the first half away to Avondale, which I guess is expected given all the firepower Avondale have in that team. And speaking to him midweek, he said that he felt that they disrespected the ball a little bit in that first half and was much more impressed with how they came out in the second. But ultimately just a couple of defensive lapses cost them in the ultimate way. And you can hear the Macedonia chants coming up from the travelling fans as well. It's a good back and forth atmosphere as Albano tries to get into the corner. And is dragged back Parage Cullen in the process. See Albano. There's a good ball played into him in the corner. Parage Cullen and Spaseski were right there. And Seb Arans will have to dig this one out of deep in Canberra's own half here. Wozinowski, Damien that is. Got to distinguish between him and his brother Matt. Colbertaldo keeping that one in, and there's one important throw for Canberra. And there's Jack Perech-Cullen. Waltz up the sideline. Ahmed Shaibu back to goal, trying to seal out his man. Nodding it on, intended for Yoshida. Cleared away. Albano, this time he gets it to feet. Although it doesn't have much in the way of support ahead of him. Has to check back, and Perech-Cullen this time commits the foul. And looks to clear it down the line. Might get a bit of a talking to from Tom Dale in the process, but no question of a foul there. You can just see the couple of the tugs of the shirt of John Albano from Perech-Cullen. Romero looking for that crossfield switch out to Adisu Bayu. Now he's found him. Matt Wozinowski. There is Kubale. You can see that grandstand is filled to the brim at Deakin Stadium. As mentioned, just a 1,500 capacity ground, but I dare say there'll be plenty more than that in today. Stefan Nigro. It's Preston's turn just to settle things down. They wouldn't have liked that fast and frantic start from Canberra coming out. Hoping to just move the ball about quickly and shift this defense side to side. There is Nigro looking centrally. Has linked up with Adisu Bayu, two former A-League players combining there. Yoshida has had to drop back to help out Riley Zusa. Zusa came off the bench last weekend. There is Dean Ugrinic, the Canberra Croatia coach, the highly successful Canberra Croatia coach. Premiers and Federation Cup winners in 2025. In 2024, he led them to being crowned champions, and he actually took over the team midway through the season. Had coached the team before. The team were in a difficult position in 6th, then came in, got them to 2nd on the ladder, and got them the NPL Capital Championship. So he knows his way around these parts, and he knows how to get the best out of this Canberra Croatia team. So it's difficult stepping onto the national stage, as Canberra would have found against Avondale, but they showed they can test teams. Here is Adisu Bayu. First corner of the game goes the way of the visitors. And you see Adisu Bayu, just such a consistent threat. Keeping Riley Zusa honest on that left side for Canberra. So what can Preston do? The first corner of the game. Right in front of the fans. Luke Jego. What do they have? Driven ball, back post. Adisu Bayu is there. Severance has to punch. And at the second time, it might just be cleared, but it's still in the attacking third here for Preston. In it goes. And that time, Gerbesha heads it away. Back into the mixer. Stefan Nigro launching it out. And that's too heavy. And Severance will let that bounce out of play, but a good option there from Preston. They found Bayu floating around the back post. He was able to get his header on target back towards the sea of players that were in front of Severance. He had to readjust. It wasn't the most convincing punch, but it did the trick. And there is Louis Asevsky. Been the Preston coach since 2017, has led this team to so many promotions. Aside from being a Preston player, he also played for the Northern Spirit, which of course have those ties to the Northwest Sydney Spirit. It's not directly the same club. Canberra get back in the attacking half now. Yadric. Yoshida tried to dance his way down the sideline, just ran out of room. Shoki Yoshida coming to Canberra Croatia via Gungahlin. Actually scored and assisted against his current club in round 12 of the Capital NPL, and has the distinct honour now of being Canberra Croatia's first, and so far only, Australian Championship goal scorer. Home fans certainly hope he won't be the only one at least after today. Max Green playing for the foul, tried to do his best to sell it, but Tom Dale and his assistants weren't buying. There's Dom Felino, of course. Important to mention, no Leighton Brooks in this starting 11, no Connor Bell, and no Jake Tchaikovsky. All of those three started last weekend as Adisubayu was looking and hunting. Had it not been for that vital touch from Riley Zusa, but Adisubayu so far in his first 10 minutes as a Preston Lions winger, he's showing all the spark. Made him a champion with Western United. Sebaran's picking that one out of the sky rather tamely. Spaseski can drive forward out of the back. Green, crossfield switch, winger to winger. Here is Shockey. Green again, off the back of Felino. Strong challenge, but clean by Parech Cullen. Colbertaldo. Yoshida clearing the feet. Still here with Canberra. Good football out to Colbertaldo. They swing it wide. Parech Cullen has advanced forward, looking for Ahmed Shaibu. Preston defence working well so far as Adisubayu tries to get around Riley Zusa. There is Spaseski sweeping up the defensive line. You can see the mix of Macedonian flags, Canberra Croatia, supporters bringing their Croatian flags as well. There they are, the kids getting involved. It's such a great part of the Australian Championship, showing kids at these clubs that there's a direct path to the national stage. And you'll see in this Canberra team, there are so many players that were Canberra Croatia juniors. Stefan Negro, his right side has been productive for Preston, and that time Negro draws the foul right in front of the Preston bench. See, the touches are clean down that right side. Bayu and Negro, and a nice pirouette to get away from Riley Zusa. He's been kept busy, Riley Zusa. Left fullback. Just 18 years of age. Started in their Australia Cup game earlier this year. Australian schoolboy as well. Has big potential, does Riley Zusa. He's beginning a strong test against another young winger. The Preston fans flying the flag high, of course. This is their first competitive interstate away day since they're in the NSL. Their actual last interstate away win was in March of 1992 against Adelaide City. In their last NSL season, they actually didn't get a single interstate away win. So, to get on the board here today, as mentioned, they come into this one favourites. But know that Canberra Croatia are not 26-time ACT premiers for nothing. It is an outstanding record that Canberra have at the state level. There's going to be no doubt about their place in this competition. What can they do from this free kick? Towards the penalty spot, Ahmed Shaibu was up, and he wasn't far away from connecting. Just peeled off his man at an opportune time, and the free kick was put in a good position for him. You can just see, look at number 11, Ahmed Shaibu, peeling off his man, Luke Francis, the striker. There's Ryan Scott. Between the sticks today for Preston. There is Romero. Felino out wide to Matt Bozanovsky. Across to his brother Damien. Strong history in the family, not just between these two playing today, but their uncle, Zoran Petrovski scored the match-winning double in the 2007 VPL Grand Final, so they have that winning mentality in the family. But a special moment, no doubt, seeing the boys share the pitch today, especially with Damien coming across from the Melbourne Victory Academy, where he captained the side, part of their VPL campaign. Kubele. Romero. Romero and Francis dropping off the line. Romero and Francis keep an eye on those two in their rotations. Here is Arans. Francis is up ahead of him. Has to clear wide, but this might be a bit of trouble for Zusa. The bounce got the better of him. And so good defensive setting there by the Preston Lions. As now they start to gain a bit more of control in this game. Slowly as the game has gone, they have been able to establish more and more in possession, just looking for that big chance. So far, the best of the game coming from Adisu Bayu at the back stick at a corner. Jego. Kubele. This double pivot working well. Adisu Bayu turning, getting past his man. And recycle out with Negro. Bayu. You can see the red shirts have swamped him immediately as he took possession. Zusa evades him. And Canberra look to play out of the press. Colbertaldo had to get rid of it in a hurry. Green goes to ground. And that foul will bail out Canberra from that press as Felino was rushing out, trying to keep the pressure on. Good start to this one so far. Reminder, there's another game going on at the moment in the Australian Championship. The other 1 o'clock kickoff between Sydney Olympic and Broadmeadow Magic. Green is told to run into the corner and the ball will get the better of him as it rolls away. As mentioned, speaking to Dean Ugrinich during the week, he was happy with how they defended in the first half, but wanted to see them more on the ball and felt they just defended too deep than what he wanted. And he's definitely found the adjustment in the Australian Championship, going from a side that plays predominantly with the ball at the state level to having to adapt a bit more on the national stage. Green checking inside onto that left foot, and Ryan Scott saw it all the way and had no qualms about letting that roll past him for a goal kick. Green looking lively early. Who was previously of Pascoe Vale Soccer Club, joined from the Sutherland Sharks in the New South Wales NPL, and has played in the capital system before for Gungahlin and Belconnen. Actually scored 15 goals from his 16 starts. The goal stats for Canberra this season in the state NPL are off the charts. We've also got the competition's golden boot on the bench right now, Nick Pratazina, so keep an eye in the second half maybe for him. And Jason Romero and Luke Francis leading the press for Preston. Spaseski had a look at Tom Dale asking if there was a clip. Play continues. Yoshida goes over his head and they'll start again with Ryan Scott. The game has settled now into a more natural rhythm. Canberra want to keep this as up-tempo as possible, you'd think, trying to catch this Preston defence off guard. It was a Preston defence that was very strong in the NPL season. They were definitely known more for their defence than attack. Well, Preston Lions, just 28 goals conceded throughout the NPL Victoria regular season, the third best record in terms of that statistic. Comparatively, they scored the 8th most goals, so very hard to break down Preston as Felino finds space in the centre. Romero turning and shooting. Takes a slight deflection, but no trouble for Arans to prevent the corner. You've seen Marco Yadris just a moment ago. Him and his brother Nick shared the pitch together last weekend. Nick was starting at the base of midfield. Marco came on to the wing, got the assist. Marco, a versatile player, can play in the centre of the park as he is now. Both of them had a bit of a stint overseas, playing in the Croatian second tier and playing in Slovenia. There's the who you think will win poll, and as flagged at the start of the game, no surprise, Preston considered favourites for this one, but do not take Canberra Croatia lightly. Bayu. Down the line, Romero was the option. Back it goes to Bayu. Now he's what a throw right in front of the main stand at Deakin Stadium. It is just such a great sight to see a full grandstand and a crowd in full voice for both teams. Jego and Kuble in this double pivot. Foligno. John Albano takes his man one-on-one and takes him left. Albano looking for the cutback, but into the grateful arms of Seb Arans. And the pressure is starting to mount on this Canberra Croatia goal. Preston slowly ticking things over. Good clean challenge by the debutant, Damian Bozanovski, now with his brother Matt. Here's Luke Jego. Oliver Kuble. Launched towards Romero. The flag will stay down temporarily, and it will stay down as there is Spaseski. And on screen, Tony Spaseski. 20 appearances, 16 starts, over 100 games in the Capital NPL for his career. Very experienced, the 27-year-old defender. He spent multiple seasons at the club by way of Tigers FC. What to do for Max Green, and there's Ahmed Shaibu. Again, finding himself in a familiar position to what he was last weekend, slightly isolated at the moment with Canberra having to defend. As they lump it up top, but that's no real trouble for the Preston defence. Matt Bozanovski. There's Damian Bozanovski. Great switch of play to Feli debutant Adisu Bayu. Bayu trying to find some space. Uses the overlapping Nugaro. Looking for the cross, but again, Canberra sitting well defensively. Mix of Canberra and Preston fans watching on. It's the beauty of Canberra's position that they're the sole representative of the Capital NPL. Draw on some neutrals, some supporters of the competition. They carry a lot of responsibility and expectation to fly the flag for their NPL. Against powerhouses like Avondale and Preston. It's a difficult group that they find themselves in. Preston, of course, have had a rapid rise through the ranks. Avondale are the NPL Victoria reigning premiers, and then you have the Northwest Sydney Spirit, the reigning NPL New South Wales premiers. So there are 3 premiers of state NPLs in this group, and then you throw in what Preston have been able to do as Jego drifts offside. Easy enough call for Thomas Galatly on that far side. There's Luke Jego, the Preston captain for today, his 3rd season at the club via Green Gully. He's had an interesting stint through Scandinavia, playing in the Norwegian second tier with Bryn, Hod and Flora SK. But actually played in the Faroe Islands in their top tier for TB Tavori. Had that stint overseas for a few years and has come back to Preston. Damian Bozanovski having a good showing right now. Always good seeing 2 brothers play together, but also playing alongside each other in adjacent positions as Canberra look to burst forward. Yoshida getting a touch. Looking for Ahmed Shaibu, but again, too close to the Preston defence. Yoshida knew he was offside. Asked Whitehead to come across and take it. Shandon Whitehead, another one of the new signings. Of course, Canberra have picked up a few players for the championship. They've signed well from other capital NPL clubs. Whitehead is amongst that contingent. Another one from Tigers FC, joining Ahmed Shaibu, coming across from the club. Lovely switch of play. This will go right onto the chest of Gian Albano. Foligno making that underlapping run, but again, Spaseski is being kept busy. And Preston thought they had a corner. It looks like it'll be a goal kick. And this game is bearing a lot of similarities to Canberra's last game against Avondale. They're doing well to just contain Preston. They'll be mindful of last weekend, how much pressure they're able to sustain consistently before the dam eventually breaks. Preston fans giving it a bit to Seb Arans. You can see Romero and Francis, the two focal points of this Preston attack, but constantly marshalling to their teammates, trying to get this press going, trying to force an error from Canberra Croatia at the back. Kubele has to go quickly with Colbertaldo giving him some company. Between the lines to Romero, the bounce will sit up a little bit, but easily enough dealt with by Damian Bozanovski. Now it's with Green. Bozanovski goes in strongly, denies any further progress. And Damian Bozanovski, aside from captaining the Melbourne Victory Academy side in the VPL this season, NPL rather, actually played against Wrexham in their friendly, got a nice little half-an-hour cameo in that match that Melbourne Victory played, so got some senior minutes, albeit in a friendly. As the throw is launched in, up goes Ahmed Shaibu for H. Cullen, trying the second header. Romero and Francis, two strikers, as Romero's pass is miscued wide. An interesting note to Canberra Croatia's season that they only lost 4 games in the NPL's capital season. All 4 of them were actually at home. They enjoyed the best record at home for how good they were last season. Here's Yoshida trying to take his man one way then the other. Uses the support offered to him by Zusa and Marko Jadric as they can't work the triangles. Goes out of play for a Preston throw. Just under 20 minutes to go here at Deakin Stadium. Adisu Bayou's chance, still probably the best of the game for Preston. Marko Jadric had a shot from 16 yards, well saved by Scott earlier, but it's been a chess match so far in the last 10 minutes or so. Bayou. Over the top they go. Francis trying to link up with Romero. Those two have found it difficult to play the combinations as Romero commits the foul on Matthew Gerbischer. There he is, the 277 appearances made in the NPL capital for Canberra Croatia for Matthew Gerbischer. It's an outstanding record by the 38-year-old defender. Of course, did play for the Melbourne Knights many years ago, so he's no stranger to NPL Victoria opposition. And has the task of leading this defence as Green gets the other side of his man, sliding to try and keep it in. Scott had to come out quickly as Preston were just briefly caught by the technicality and speed of Max Green. And had Scott not come out quickly, I think Ahmed Shaibu and Yoshida were awaiting a tap in inside the box. Again, just another little warning shot fired by Canberra towards Preston, but again, Preston have answered the call. As mentioned, they had a great defence throughout the NPL Victoria season, and they've strengthened it further. Here is John Albano. Albano has won his side another corner. Their best chance of the game came via a corner. Let's see what they can do this time. Godbisha and Spaseski just trying to get all the numbers in order here for Canberra. Luke Jego in set piece duties, both sides. Numbers are right in that 6-yard box here for Preston. Jego, ball into the crowd of players. Up goes Francis. Half-hearted shouts of a penalty are waved away by Tom Dale. And they felt that Francis might have been pushed as he went up for that. As he's still on the ground, Godbisha is calling for some medical attention for the Preston striker. As we take a look at the replay here, there was a sea of bodies in the mix. Francis is a tall figure, but just two players with eyes for the ball there. Let's see another angle of it. Godbisha clears it away. Francis and Max Green both have eyes for the ball, and I guess the complaint from Preston will be that there was an arm left hanging by Green. There's no VAR in the Australian Championship. And there's Louis Asevsky there just talking to his charges as they've got a bit of an impromptu timeout with 15 minutes to go here. Just a chance to try and get a bit more of instructions into his side. They've looked good by and large at Preston, but again, they've found themselves in a similar position that their NPL Victoria counterparts were in last week against Avondale, which is a lot of the ball, but coming up against a defensively organised Canberra Croatia side. There are the Canberra Croatia faithful. Plenty of them have packed in to the ground today as Francis is just undergoing a bit of treatment. A special moment for the club, no doubt, having their first Australian Championship home game. A club that has had so much success at state level, has won everything there is to win, have been crowned champions 19 times of their state, have been crowned premiers 26 times of their state, have won 20 knockout cups. And so progression to this level seems only right. Ahmed Shaibu. He's got past the first defender and now can get around Damian Bozanovsky, and the debutant isn't going to escape without a booking here. The first card of the game goes the way of the 19-year-old defender. And Ahmed Shaibu just sealed him out there, got around the other side, and does exactly what you want your target man striker to do. You see here, once he had turned the corner, things were only ever going to go one way, and the second that Bozanovsky laid hands on Ahmed Shaibu, Tom Dale was always going to be showing him a card, with Canberra Croatia running down the other end. And so, sets up rather nicely here for Cole Bataldo and Shandon Whitehead. It is a little far out, maybe 25 yards or so. Three in the wall here for Ryan Scott. Cole Bataldo the right-footed option, Whitehead the left. What does Canberra have here? Cole Bataldo, the wall does its job. They'll keep the pressure on with the throw. See here, no real danger. Cole Bataldo was looking maybe to go around the wall with just three there. And kept it low, but a bit too close to the Preston Lions defenders. Launched in by Green. Ryan Scott thought about coming for it. Instead, Bozanovsky clears. Even though it is Preston's first competitive interstate away trip in some time, they're no strangers to travel. They've been jet setting over to Macedonia to be playing against some friendlies with clubs over there. More on that in a moment as Green His cross is seen away. Shandon Whitehead keeps the attack with Ahmed Shaibu before the bounce of the ball falls the way of Preston. It is a bumpy-ish surface. It's flat, but it's sitting up at times. Cleared away. It's Preston's turn to do a bit of defending as Bosevsky slips but gets back up to his feet at the perfect time to keep that one in. And it's worth a throw-in for Canberra Croatia. A few fans making their feelings known. It's the beauty of the Australian Championship fans, close to the action, community feel, but the atmosphere is as good as ever. And we saw similar scenes at South Hobart last weekend against Wollongong. Small venue, but a full venue is always a good one. Max Green now. The hosts finding their feet in attack. Ahmed Shaibu and Green. Still with Max Green, looking to open up the attack. Yoshida cutting inside onto the right. Cleared away, but only as far as Max Green again, who continues to cause havoc off that right wing. And that'll fill the Canberra Croatia supporters with a lot of optimism. You could see Green there knew he had to shoot in a hurry with Matt Bozanovsky closing him down. After the Canberra Croatia fans made some noise, now it's the travelling Preston support. It's been a good day so far. Bayu has gotten the other side of the defence. Adisu Bayu on debut! Only needed that chance one-on-one, and Adisu Bayu has liftoff in the Australian Championship, and what a way to make an impact for your new club. And don't the Preston fans love it? They've travelled from Melbourne, and their new signing has rewarded them. A clinical finish one-on-one as he wheels away to the Preston fans. Barely half an hour into his tenure as a Preston player, and he tucks away the one-on-one. You can see they do love it. The passion, the energy. And it just paid off beautifully there for Preston. Canberra were just caught a little too high defensively. And with Adisu Bayu's speed, he exploited that space. As mentioned, an A-League men's champion with Western United. 24 appearances during his A-League time. Just a few starts, but did score a couple of goals in Western United's championship winning campaign. And the Preston coaching staff, Louis Osefsky, would have loved that. Of course, they had that little stoppage a moment ago, 5 minutes ago, with Luke Francis being down. Although this is another familiar position for Preston, taking the lead. They'll be mindful of what happened to them against Spirit FC last weekend. But with the attack they've shown, there is every reason they can go out and bag a second, and that's what John Albano has on his mind. Him and Parage Cullen. That's been a good battle down this wing. Albano. Parage Cullen stands tall this time. Fans in full voice, just listen to the atmosphere here at Deakin Stadium. Jago. Preston looking to go bang bang on the stroke of half time. It's lofted way out there towards Matt Bozanovsky before eventually lumped upfield. Preston will have to reset, but the goal gives them all the momentum. Now the onus falls to Canberra to come out and attack. We saw this happen last game for them, and when I spoke to Dean Ugrinic during the week, he said that going down 2-0 seemed like the turning point for them. It forced them to come out of their shell and play a bit more proactively. They've shown plenty of proactiveness with the ball at home today. Just that they haven't been able to find the crucial chance, and they were just caught a little high there by the speed of Adisu Bayu, the 23-year-old winger. A lot of potential, and no doubt have his eyes set on returning back to the A-League. Green, him and Foligno go shoulder to shoulder. Green puts him down. Max Green looking to maybe get one back for Canberra. Luke Jago tracked back well there. Albano. Is there a counter brewing here for Preston? Romero. They'll take their time. Kubalay just puts his foot on the ball and will reset things here for the visitors. Matt Bozanovsky. And Gro's pass is off the feet of Yoshida. There are fans watching on, hoping to see Canberra get back into this one maybe. Zusa couldn't clear down the line. Over the head of Bayu. Arans. Looking for Green, who's probably been the most dangerous player on the park here for Canberra. If there's a man that's going to make things happen, and it looks like it'll be him. Look for the other winger, Yoshida. Romero gets the call of man on, knows he has to move the ball quickly. A quick 1-2 between him and Kubalay looks good. Bayu. Flag remains down for the goal scorer. First time cross. His overall brings that attack to a close. There he is, Adisu Bayu. What a live wire he has been down this wing. Has given Riley Zusa a lot of trouble. As Canberra play out from the back, here is Zusa. Romero tracks back, and that's another throw-in going the way of Preston, as they're really now starting to press their foot down. Miłosewski, the man on screen, will be very happy with how things are going, as will be travelling Preston staff, supporters, club officials. A big moment for the club, not just having your first home game in the Australian Championship, but the beauty of this competition, allowing for interstate travel, professional environment. For a club like Preston, which has gone through so many promotions in recent years, only just got back to the top level of Victorian competition after their promotion last season from the VPL to the NPL. Back in 2011, they were relegated to State League 2, which is, or was, the third tier of Victorian competition. And at the time in 2011, it was the first time in 30 years they had played in the third tier. And after so many promotions, they now find themselves not just in the NPL, not just being a competitive side, but now in the Australian Championship as a foundation club as well. They've backed this project since the start. Couple minutes of regulation time remaining. We might have a little bit of stoppages just because of Francis's injury a little earlier. Ahmed Shaibu has found his feet. Here is Cole Bataldo, has one more, goes to shot himself! And Canberra Croatia have equalised through Daniel Cole Bataldo. And the fans are up and about at Deakin Stadium. Look at this, it comes to Cole Bataldo, freeing the feet through the bodies, and Preston will be disappointed to have given him that space because Max Green was there with him. Cole Bataldo waited for the shot to open up, And Ryan Scott is irate with his defenders and feeling that there was just too much space given to Cole Bataldo. And this time, Canberra don't wait to go 2 goals down to get one back. They score to bring it back to 1-1. And how might that set things up for this second half? And whilst Canberra Croatia would have been outsiders coming into this game, they're certainly outsiders to get out of this group. They've shown they could be a real force if you do take them lightly. This crowd is right behind them now. In full voice at Deakin Stadium. Be interesting to see what the crowd count is as it comes through later. I dare say it'll be above capacity for this venue. Albano cutting inside, finds his way through defenders. Jago leaves an outstretched leg, and that attracts the whistle of Tom Dale. And you sense that half-time might be coming at the right time, especially for Canberra Croatia having just scored. But for Preston, they want to reset, and tempers are starting to rise at pitch side here. For Canberra notably as well, they don't enjoy a particularly successful record on the national stage. They've had a few Australia Cup games, but haven't been able to progress past the round of 32. There's a fourth official, Jake Rose. A couple of minutes time added on. So 2 minutes to play here, and I think Canberra will be happy with the scoreline as is. Preston will be disappointed to have conceded with a rare chance from Canberra, but they're showing that they can be clinical even when opportunities are scarce. He lumped in towards Ryan Scott, and he has the gloves rising through the air. And as Yoshida might have caught it on the way through. And nothing untoward really between the two players here. I think Yoshida was just the unfortunate player in the way of Ryan Scott, who had every right to go for the ball. And so Canberra Croatia's new signing from Gungalan, the Japanese winger, go down in history as Canberra Croatia's first Australian Championship goal scorer. And well, there might have been something on the way through, not from Scott, but inadvertently caught Matt Bozanovsky. His career has taken him abroad, not just here in Australia, where he's come to the capital NPL, but spent 2 years at Florida Gulf Coast University in the NCAA Division I soccer system. The previous 2 years were in the JUCO system, junior college system that is. He's won a couple of awards to his name. He's the ASUN Scholar Athlete of the Year. Second team All Conference as well for the Canberra Croatia winner. So into the final stages of this first half. It's been a great one. Has dished up goals both ways. And it's all poised very, very nicely for an entertaining second 45. That's what the Canberra fans came for, to see their team be successful here. And the noise that erupted when Cole Bataldo scored was exactly what this competition's about. Matt Bozanovsky now with Damien. Early release pass. Spaseski has his head on it. Jago sends it back from whence it came, and Baby might be in here again. I felt that he might have been dragged back. The Preston fans are right there in front of it. Maybe one last flurry here for Preston. Oliver Kubele. Adisu Bayu. Zusa is on his back. This time he's covering him tightly. Bayu trying to find the cross or find the corner. And so I think this will be the last chance of the game either way. What can Preston do here in front of their fans? 3 minutes of the minimum 2. Of course, that number 2 is just a minimum. Preston fans eagerly awaiting. They see one more before they head into the sheds. Luke Jago standing over it. Numbers around that back post again for Preston. A similar delivery to the one earlier. A little more shallower. Good save by Iran's. Not clear just yet. There's a sea of bodies. And Kubalay is the one that finds it to put Preston back in front right before half-time. It may well be the last kick of the half. They threw numbers at it, Preston, and their midfielder is the one that comes up with the goods. A good ball in by Jego on the replay, headed down by Bozanovsky. Romero made a play at it, and it fell kindly for Kubalay. With Iran's already committed, just had to poke it past him, and he was always going to do the damage from close range, Oliver Kubalay. And what a first half it has been here at Deakin Stadium. And after Preston might have felt that they let one go to Canberra with a rare chance for them, Canberra will now feel that they've let one slide right before half-time.
Goal scorer for Preston Lions, number 19, Oliver Kubalay. Canberra Croatia 1, Preston Lions 2.
And so half-time at Deakin Stadium, a chance for us to breathe, a chance for you to breathe at home in what has been an action-packed first half, a chance for the fans to breathe as well. It's been a great first half here. Daniel Colbertaldo getting the opener for Canberra, but it's cancelled out by Kubalay. So it's Canberra Croatia 1, Preston Lions 2 at half-time.
Can Canberra Croatia shock the nation? They're peerless in capital football. 26 premierships, 18 championships, 20 Federation Cups, daylight second. But the runaway ACT premiers have 0 wins and 6 losses when taking on the States in NPL National Finals matches and Australia Cup ties. There's no doubt this club has a spirit of adventure to test itself beyond territory borders.
Canberra Croatia have battled to gain National League status in recent years, and the club is setting itself to move into Australia's #1 soccer competition.
They were twice runners-up in New South Wales Division 1 in 1989 and 90, and have finished on the podium at the Croatian World Club Championship. But now comes the challenge for this regional powerhouse to make a breakthrough in the Australian Championship.
Take this up somewhere where you're okay. Get it out of the way. Because that's what's been dangling in the way. When I'm facing down, it's in the way. Stuck it in there or something. Yeah, you don't put your hand in there, do you? So what was happening? So when I put the cameras together, that XLR wasn't there. So it must have been someone else.
Football's back home. It'd be great to be on SBS again.
It's going to definitely give the Australian Championship a massive, massive platform.
You're not just showcasing yourself on YouTube or anything anymore. It's SBS, it's massive.
It's great that it's going to be live free there. It's great exposure.
Every player want to be on TV, and I think that's really good for the people in Australia.
Now I can tell my
got my siblings too. I just tell them to turn on SBS and watch me there.
It's the best thing to happen to football in Australia in a very long time.
It's integral to all these clubs and fans and players to have the games broadcasted live.
That's where you want to be on free-to-air. It's SBS. Everyone watches it.
To have football back on, I guess, the main stage of where it all started, it's exciting. It's a great opportunity for the whole of Australia to watch.
You never know what's going to happen.
We just hope that we can do this code proud.
For every football lover in Australia, you know, when you hear the SBS, you think about football.
I grew up with watching the World Game on SBS.
On Sunday from first thing in the morning, all day football.
I was an avid follower of the Captain Socceroos, Johnny Warren.
Craig Foster.
Yeah, Les Murray days, you can't forget it.
All the iconic moments in football have been on SBS.
SBS was the home of football, so it's great that we're back there.
So there are the highlights from the first half. Canberra did start rather brightly. Marko Jadric freeing the feet early. Max Green, he was really live down this right wing, wasn't he? This time he cut inside onto his left. Ryan Scott saw it all the way. But Canberra, despite showing plenty, there is Ahmed Shaibu, who got the other side of Bozanovski, the only booking of the game so far. Damien Bozanovski, that is, the debutant. No real complaints, I think, from the Preston players, despite Damien's own protests. Colbertaldo, he had a free kick that was blocked away, but he would be back a little later. Then here is Francis. This is just exceptional striker hold-up play. Adis Ubeyu put it on a platter for him, and then he finished the one-on-one for his first goal, and a goal on debut for the new Preston signing. Francis perfectly weighted a pass. Adis Ubeyu, the A-League men's champion with Western United. And look, straight with the Preston fans. Great scenes at Deakin Stadium, and they would continue as the hosts would get back on level terms soon after. Ahmed Shaibu finds Daniel Colbertaldo, wasn't tracked, and then through the Preston Lions defence, a goal at home for Colbertaldo. A good finish as well, getting it onto that right foot into the bottom corner past Scott. And that got the home fans cheering. Those cheers, unfortunately for them, wouldn't last long because Preston would be back very, very soon, right on the death of half-time. They would soon be back with an opportunity. Here it is, in from Luke Jago, headed by Bozanovski. Romero tried his chance at it. Kubalay putting Preston in front for his first goal with Preston. You can see Preston just threw numbers after numbers at it. Falls there for Kubalay. And that is the wrap of chances from the first half. A very entertaining first half. And if the second is anything like it, then you're in for a Sunday treat here on SBS On Demand. So let's have a look at the halftime stats from Deakin Stadium, and the stats tell a rather even game in terms of shots and chances. And Preston with those four corners where they were consistently able to pile on pressure. Possession stats aren't on your screen, but if you have to hazard a guess, there are plenty of possession in favour of Preston. What they've been able to do. Let's take a look at the highlights from the rest of the round. It's been a great round so far. It's been another high-scoring round. Plenty of action, and it got started on Friday night with West's Apia playing at Leichhardt Oval, putting four past fellow NPL New South Wales rivals Sydney United 58. Presley Ortiz getting the first one. Then it was back to their grand final hero, Drayden Kelly. Scored the goal in the semi-final that got Apia through, scored the winner in the grand final as well. And this free kick, how about it, from Sean Simmons, the Apia veteran, with a parting gift for Sydney United supporters too. Then it was Marconi's turn against South Hobart. They put plenty past them too. Damien Sekenis scoring the first of what would be a further 3 goals in a hat-trick at the Palace. Yesic flicking it back for him. There is Damien Sekenis. That's been the action so far. It's been a fantastic round. Of course, we've got this game, the other game happening between Olympic and Broadmeadow. There is Sekenis for the 3rd goal in what would be his hat-trick. And so aside from becoming the first player to score a hat-trick, he is the top scorer in the competition so far. Then it was Heidelberg down at Collegiate Stadium in the Gong, walking away with a huge victory against a side that is tipped to do much in this competition, but the Wolves would ultimately fall How about this goal coming through, top of the box, laces right through from Anthony Lesiotis. And that would be goal 2 of 3 for Heidelberg en route to a 3-0 win. So that's how the fixtures and results are shaping up right now. A reminder, 3 games still to come on 4:30 here on SBS On Demand. Broadmeadow currently 1-0 up against Olympic. That's a potentially huge result in the context of that group, but we stay with this group and Group C with Northwest Sydney Spirit FC set to host Avondale a little later at Christie Park, which is better known by NPL New South Wales fans as the Arctic Circle. It'll be anything but Arctic as we head into the summer months. So here is the fans. They still have a bit of time to soak in all the action from the first half. The second half is coming up shortly on the other side of this quick break.
The loudest noise in the Australian Championship is coming from a Lions roar. Preston Lions are the team for the big occasion. The crowds, the spectacle, the rivalries.
I haven't been this excited for a football game in this country for years.
But it wasn't as simple as just turning up. A little over a decade ago, Preston were at risk of losing their club, consigning 13 years in the NSL and 4 Victorian championships to the history books. So a community rallied, and the team responded on the pitch by winning.
And it's Matty Whelan! Preston win it in the final minute!
All the way back to NPL Victoria, where acquaintances were renewed with old foes.
Oh, how about that? The Paninka on the biggest stage of all!
Preston haven't played on the national stage since 1993. You don't want to miss their return in the Australian Championship.
Welcome back to Deakin Stadium, where the game is well set for an entertaining second half. Preston getting a goal right on the stroke of half-time through midfielder Oliver Kubele, scoring his first goal for the club to put them ahead 2-1 at the break. Daniel Colbertaldo got the equalizer for Canberra Croatia to make things interesting, which we thought would have been the last goal of the half given how late it was. And Adisu Bayu opened the scoring a little earlier for Preston to score his first goal for the club as well on debut. So it's all set for an entertaining second half. This crowd is full to the brim at Deakin Stadium, and so far they have been treated to some very entertaining Sunday action. There is Canberra Croatia captain and veteran defender Matthew Gerbischer, Lukman Ahmed Shaibu at the top of the attack for Canberra Croatia. He's the one that picked up the assist for Colbertaldo's goal, the man just at the top of your screen alongside him. Well, the capacity of Deakin Stadium is listed as 1,500. We are basically right there, if not maybe a few more sneaking in extra, because it is as full as it could possibly be at the nation's capital. The fans have shown out in support of the Australian Championship, and both teams have rewarded them so far. Let's see how the second 45 shapes up. Will Constantinidis on commentary for you, and it's been a great one. Let's see if it gets even better. Here is Gerbischer. No doubt defensive solidity would have been the key of Dean Ugrinich's team talk. Negro just looking to take this throw in. Of course, as mentioned, there is A-League experience down this right-hand side for Preston. Not just with Adisu Bayu, the goal scorer, but Stefan Negro himself is vastly experienced at the A-League level. Over 100 A-League men's appearances, 105 in fact, across clubs like Melbourne Victory, the Mariners, Brisbane, a two-time A-League men's champion, Australian Cup winner. Now we'll have his sights set on the Australian Championship with the Preston Lions. Another thing to keep in mind as the second half goes on is the fact that Damian Bozanovski is on a yellow card. So the central defender will have to see out however long Luliasevski gives him, if he does give him the rest of the second half. Or if maybe he takes him off early for a defender on the bench. Jake Tchaikovsky on the bench today. Potential likely sub there. We'll see how that goes. A reminder, maybe as Preston just play through the back of who is on the bench for them. They have Leighton Brooks, their top scorer, Connor Bell, Jake Tchaikovsky, Lucas Trenkovsky, the backup goalkeeper, Jonas Markovsky, Brandon Lawton, and Marcus Schroen. Here is Adisu Bayu. Kubele swinging that ball wide, and now Preston. Be very key to start this second half in a positive light, to start as they did in the end of the first half. Not allowing Canberra Croatia to get back into the game. And Canberra have shown that if you give them an inch, they will take maybe even more than a mile. That's how clinical they have been. They were clinical against Avondale. Yoshida only really had one chance all game, and he took it. And then that one for Colbertaldo, the best, bar maybe a couple of half efforts from Green or Marko Jadric. Lovely feet by Riley Zusa. That means Canberra can move. Colbertaldo. Here is Max Green. He looked lively in the first. He looks to resume proceedings in the second. Green, it's up for Ahmed Shaibu, it's onto the bar, and well, that could have been a bit nervy there for Preston. It took a deflection through, and so it will be a Canberra Croatia corner to start this second 45. So here it is on the replay. You can see Green Just got an inch of space. And, well, Ahmed Shaibu was hoping and praying that that was about to drop for him, because he would have had the easiest header of his career. In the end, the crossbar saves Preston. A game of small margins. Marko Jadric standing over the corner, low and driven and towards the near post, but dealt with. And now Adisu Bayu finds green grass ahead of him, and that green grass is taken away by a rather no-nonsense challenge by Matthew Gerdbescher. And Adisu Bayu is wearing the after effects of it. Here it is. Bayu at full speed. Gerdbescher got the ball. A bit of an extra shoulder in there for good measure. It's all clean, of course. There he is, the Canberra Croatia skipper. Damian Bozanovski. Stefan Negro. You can see how well Canberra is set defensively. A couple of banks of four. And Cole Bataldo, Ahmed Shaibu just a little further ahead. Try to work that corner. Dom Felino was looking for the curving pass. Ahmed Shaibu goes up for it, comes down with Canberra 2. That comes to a frustrating end for the hosts. Romero beats Gerdbescher to it and has gotten around him. And he recovers well there. Canberra defender, special moment for him, has led this club for so many appearances, has captained the side to a lot of silverware, and now captains them at home in the Australian Championship. Kubale. Romero. As Albano calling for it on the wing, decides to just play safety with Damian Bozanovski. Gerdbescher is again in strong. Him and Romero have had a good battle so far. Ahmed Shaibu. Shandon Whitehead. Goes on a journey wide through midfield. Out of play, it'll stay with Canberra and a throw. They want to go quickly. Max Green had ideas of playing fast, but it'll just slow down nicely for Jack Parage Cullen. We've spoken about Preston's bench. We might run you through Canberra's when we get a moment and a bit of a break in play. As Green goes in strongly, but fairly. Now the challenges are starting to fly. Cole Bataldo. Jadric. Shut down by Preston. Out of play. Riley Zusa coming across to throw. So while the ball's out of play, on the bench, as we take a look at the challenge from Green, well, he's within his rights to go for the ball. I think Bozanovski maybe wasn't expecting it. And so on the bench for Canberra, they have Keegan Vucetic, the NPL Capital Golden Boot, Nicholas Pratazina. Nikola Jadric is out of the squad after starting last week. Also on the bench is David Shashelia, Michael Piccolo, Jason Matesha, and Daniel Sparrow. Matt Bozanovski. Yoshida was shutting down the space as Canberra try and work this press, but Preston are just a step ahead and are able to play out. Good tracking back though by Yoshida. Here he is. And now, good physicality shown by Luke Jago. That's a real captain's challenge from the holding midfielder. Kubale. You can see Preston keeping the ball is the priority at the moment, but they won't want to slow down. That ball stays slow and makes it nice and easy for Canberra to defend, and especially with the margin just at 1. They would have been happy to go up heading into the break, Preston, but the longer it stays 2-1, the more Canberra will be hanging around there, hoping for another chance to fall their way. Game reduced to a walking pace between the Bozanovski brothers as they're just content to keep it together. Another set of exchange passes between them. As mentioned, it's first interstate away trip on the national stage since Preston's NSL days, but they're no strangers to travelling to play football. They've been on trips to Macedonia. They've played a couple of first division sides. Now Green looking for Ahmed Shaibu. The long legs and outstretched legs of Matt Bozanovsky deny him. Whitehead takes over in midfield. Bayu, under heavy pressure by Zusa, has to go back to Stefan Negro. Zusa. Adisu Bayu is on the other side of him, and Romero, has he sprung the offside trap? He hasn't. He was offside, and they played it well there, the Canberra defence. So here it is on the replay. You can see there, he just made his run a little early. They kept their line together. Spaseski and Gerbischer keeping it. And so there are the subs. The first sub of the game. It's going to be a double sub.
For Canberra Croatia, coming off number 18, Marko Jadric.
So Marko Jadric will be
by number 22.
replaced. Max Green, I think, has also come off.
21, Michael Piccolo.
Michael Piccolo joining the game. So double change for Canberra, sensing that they needed a bit of a refresh on the field. And those subs worked wonders for Dino Grinic last week. It was his two substitutes that combined for their only goal. Both of them have started. One of them has since departed, with Marko Jadric now off the field. Gerbesha getting away from Adisu Bayu. And Bayu just giving him a receipt there for an earlier challenge. Calvataldo turning. For H. Cullen. Low driven towards Ahmed Shaibu. And again, Ahmed Shaibu has been a consistent threat at the top of the attack. They're looking to find him in the air. And that time they get a little closer to getting his head on the end of a cross. It was a good one from Parach Cullen. Exactly what you want from your fullback. Ahmed Shaibu looking to get between defenders.
For Canberra Croatia, coming off number 13, Rolly Souza. Being replaced by number 2, Robert Chichenko.
So confirmation of that second substitution, Riley Zusa, replaced by Robert Tkachenko. A like-for-like swap at right back, with Zusa had started this week. Tkachenko had started last week, and Zusa came on for him last week. So a familiar change. Now Tom Dale has a bit of housekeeping to do with Gerbesha and co in front of him. There was a stoppage. I think the ball had hit Tom Dale, and that's why he's got to start again with the drop ball. Here Canberra go. Piccolo through the defence! And they're back on it. Canberra Croatia. Max Green, he's been looking lively all day, linking up well. And Max Green has them ahead in the second half. 2-2 for the game. Exactly what they needed. Good link-up play between players. Max Green. Straight out of the break. Good link-up play. You could just see Max Green. He took it all the way. A quick 1-2 with Parach Cullen. And had all the options there. Piccolo, Ahmed Shaibu were there for the cutback, but it was only going to be Max Green from close range. And now the Canberra Croatia fans are back in full voice. We spoke about how good Max Green has been. 15 goals through 16 starts in the Capital NPL, which is a very handy clip for a winger. And the game will open up again. We saw Preston starting with just perhaps a little bit of complacency. They weren't moving the ball as quickly as they were in the first. And now that'll keep the attack into another gear. The who you think will win poll has moved slightly. Preston were 71% at the start of the game. And I think maybe some of you at home have been convinced slightly by what Canberra have done over the course of the game. Set up nicely at 2-all. It's been a high-scoring game so far. 4 goals already, just under an hour gone. And Preston will be disappointed that they've given Canberra avenues back, but Preston are still a consistent threat. Bayou, he's been a threat too. Here he is. A long chance from distance, but didn't really catch it as well as he would have wanted. Colbertaldo, great turn under pressure, linking up with midfielder Whitehead. Shandon Whitehead has Green as well as Ahmed Shaibu ahead of him. Decides to just slow things down. It's back again with Michael Piccolo. Yoshida. Romero. It's now starting to turn into a bit of a back and forth type of game as it opens up. Spaces starting to appear where they weren't in the first 45. Exactly what Dean Ugrinich would have wanted out of the break, especially with the substitutions he made as well. Extra midfielder in Michael Piccolo, a fresh defender with Robert Tkachenko replacing Riley Zusa. And they've actually swapped wings with Albano and Adisu Bayou. There is central defender, Tony Spaseski. There are the fans watching on. Spaseski, of course, a big part of this Canberra Croatia side for many years. Him and Gerdbasher, a veteran centre-back pairing, exactly the two that you would want to be building around at the back to lead this Canberra Croatia team. That experience in big games at state level, especially when experience at national level is hard to come by. Here is Stefan Negro. Jago. Romero drops off the line. Can't work that combination. Bayou has to do his defensive duties to stop Yoshida going forward. He does that. Arans. See, Ahmed Shaibu has both Bozanovsky brothers right near, and Colbertaldo is the man that comes down with it, though. Yoshida. Will he take his man one-on-one? Here he goes. Shoki Yoshida towards his left, and it's a tame cross. And that's good news for Preston Lions and Ryan Scott in goal. Romero goes in strongly right in front of Tom Dale, and we'll see if he receives only a warning or if he's going to receive a booking here. He won't walk away without going into the referee's book. And so Jason Romero joins central defender Damian Bozanovsky in Tom Dale's book, and Romero is no stranger to being booked. Has 6 yellow cards for the season in NPL Victoria, the equal most of any player, and came through very strongly on the replays you would have seen. And I think Luliasevsky is going to respond with a couple of subs, perhaps sensing that the hosts are finding their way back into the game. It looks like it might be 3, potentially, with 3 white shirt players over there. So John Albano, Luke Francis will come off. Connor Bell will come on. Adisu Bayou also comes off, so his afternoon ends early with his debut goal. So Connor Bell is on. Jonas Markowski, the number 11 on your screen right now. A long history with his family in this club as well. We spoke about the Bozanovsky brothers and their family connection. His father, John Markowski, a Preston legend, was actually in their squad for their last interstate away game in the 1993 NSL season. And now his son Jonas gets the chance. Preston moving forward here. Let's see what the triple subs do. There's Connor Bell, one of them. A player that has a long history with this club, especially through their promotions. Sent forward by Paige Cullen. A bit of aerial ping pong as up goes Romero. I think just a brief correction. I think Luke Francis was the player that was booked, not Romero. I think that might have prompted the reason as to why Luiasevski had subbed his striker. Romero still out there. Markowski into the attack. Jonas Markowski is the NPL Victoria Golden Boot and Players Player back in 2023, so comes to Preston with a lot of pedigree. He was playing for Altona Magic a couple of seasons ago. Father was coaching him at the time, but it worked to great effect. He cleaned up on the awards night, as you can see. Leighton Brooks, also the other of the three changes, so they've brought on their top goal scorer of the season, Leighton Brooks, with his 9 goals. Connor Bell, who's been a reliable player for them consistently, and then Jonas Markowski, another player who has got a lot of goals in him, so attacking-minded changes from Luiasevski. What can Canberra do here? Now they look for something of their own again. Green continues to drive at defenders. Couldn't find that pass to Cole Bataldo. Damian Bozanovsky still out there on his yellow card. The Preston throw. Connor Bell wants to run away with it. I think he'll be told to take it back by Tom Dale, and he is. And things have just maybe simmered a little bit at Deakin Stadium. Atmosphere was loud, challenges were flying in. The second half might have just provided a natural break to the rhythm of the game. And after Canberra Croatia's goal to equalise, the fans watch on in eager anticipation of what might come. Now there's a bit of housekeeping for the referees to do again. Just a bit of confusion of Paige Cullen taking this throw. Ahmed Shaibu couldn't muscle his way through. Shandon Whitehead says enough's enough of that and just lumps it all the way over. Bozanovsky, Damian that is, nodding it down calmly for his keeper and receiving again. Of course, a reminder, there is still more Australian Championship action still to come, other than Sydney Olympic and Broadmeadow Magic currently playing. Bayswater City and Metro Stars, that could be a good game in that group. And the other game in this group between Spirit FC and Avondale. And this one has settled down just a little bit, but I think we could just be looking at the calm before the storm. Romero. Bozanovsky. Connor Bell. Felino has gone inside him. Bell, back post, that's where he was looking. Romero tries to bring it down. Yoshida coming back into his own box to help out his defenders. Eventually, Canberra clear their lines. Brooks, swerving delivery. Seen away by Spaseski. Good pass by Cole Bataldo. Yoshida. Outstretched was Michael Piccolo. A few errors now starting to creep into the game for both teams as they try and push the effort, as there's an error from Stefan Negro, who's usually quite good on the ball. Ahmed Shaibu and Cole Bataldo. Ahmed Shaibu again. Looks for Yoshida alongside. Piccolo. Bell was well positioned to make the stop. Brooks. Gerdbischer goes in strong, got all of the ball. There he goes again, Gerdbischer. The Canberra Croatia fans love seeing their skipper slide in like that. A proper centre-backs challenge. Here is Green, the man that has the equalizer right now. There's one inside the corner. And he might be getting an earful from the Preston Lions fans right behind him. But with 20 minutes to go, every chance this goes either way. Both teams have to be careful. Numbers around the penalty spot and the edge of the 18. It's low, it's driven. Falls to Piccolo. Spaseski. Thought about putting it back into the mixer, decided against it though. Instead they'll play a bit more patiently. Spaseski. Numbers are there for him. A fist by Ryan Scott, an outstretched right hand to put it away. Here is Brooks. Progress denied by Jack Perich-Cullen. There's Stefan Negro, the two-time A-League men's champion. First season at Preston, signed for them during the NPL season. No doubt playing in this competition would have been front of mind. And playing in front of atmospheres like this, even home or away. Scott. Now Canberra, maybe not as content with sitting back. You can see them trying to press Preston's back four on occasion. Markovski was looking to press, and that press has paid off because Brooks has headed it back towards Bell. Space was quickly shut down by the defenders. Here is Brooks. Leighton Brooks, a couple of step overs. Tkachenko goes with him. And that'll be another opportunity for Canberra Croatia to have to defend another set piece. At least 5 quarters so far for the Preston Lions. They have put on a bit of a set-piece bombardment of this Canberra Croatia 18-yard box. Luke Jego to put in another. Jego, good delivery. There's numbers there. Matt Bozanovsky was underneath it and will have to climb his way out of a couple of Canberra Croatia defenders to get back up. But with all his height, that's the man you want. And you can see they got him in a good position there. On the back post, rising highest, right on his head. And the pressure might have just done enough to keep him away from keeping his header under the bar. So 2 more subs for Preston Lions to join the other 3. Jason Romero and Luke Jego come off. So Luisevski continues to move the magnets on his team and attempt to find the solution. He's hoping that the extra depth that Preston have can take them over the edge. Markovski goes to Bell.
Substitute for Preston Lions.
So confirmation of those subs. Brandon Lawton is one of the new inclusions.
14, Marcus Schroen.
And one of the players coming on is Marcus Schroen.
17, Jason Romero, being replaced by number 22, Brandon Lawson.
So 5 substitutions used by Louis Tsevsky and the Preston Lions. Brendan Lawton, another player with A-League men's experience. And the subs are rolling in at Deakin Stadium, a couple more coming. So Shannon Whitehead is coming off. He'll be replaced by Keegan Vucetic. Ahmed Shaibu is the other man coming off. His day comes to an end after some tireless work up top.
Ahmed Shaibu being replaced by number 8, Keegan Vucetic. And coming off, number 3, Shandon Whitehead, being replaced by number 24, Daniel Sparrow.
So Daniel Sparrow is the other man on. So plenty of changes here for both teams. Plenty of changes for us to keep you up to date with. The game has slowed a little bit as those changes and players find their feet in the game. Michael Piccolo just popping the back of a challenge there. Seb Morans will look to go long here, you'd think, as he pushes his defenders up. So 15 minutes to go, and with how cagey the second half has been since Canberra Croatia equalised, any goal now could potentially be the winner. Foligno is looking for someone ahead of him. Lawton is the short option, but doesn't want to go there. Goes down the line to Bell. Marcus Schroen in midfield now. Out it goes to Stefan Negro. Yoshida put his body there to try and win it back. Those two have had a great battle down the left wing. Goodwisher. Strong clearance down to Green. And now it's still at the feet of Max Green. Canberra can think about going forward. Here is Cole Bataldo. Already has one. Cries of handball. And it's still there for Canberra. And Canberra Croatia have taken the lead at home after trailing twice in this game. And it's that man again, Max Green. And he celebrates with the fans. They went down 1-0, they went down 2-1, and they are right back here again. Canberra Croatia, cries of handball. Max Green didn't care. Side foots one into the back of the net. And he has his second of the afternoon. His second for the Australian Championship. And Canberra Croatia have a lead for the first time in this competition. We said it was set up for a really interesting second half. And Canberra Croatia, Dean Hugrinich's men, whatever he said in that halftime team talk, they have come out and scored 2 goals in this second half. And they were underdogs into this game. They're underdogs in this competition. And right now they're 13 minutes away from a huge result. Preston have already made 5 substitutions. So the options for how they change this game are limited. Cole Bataldo, could Canberra dream of a fourth here? That's what they have their eyes on. And now they continue to move. Green has been so good. He beats a couple of defenders again. And that one flies over the bar from Daniel Sparrow. But Max Green is looking simply unstoppable right now. And the only thing that has stopped him is him going down with what looks to be a cramp. And what Canberra will hope is only a cramp. Because given his form, well, you won't want him on the sidelines for any game. There is Dean Ugrinic. He knows the job isn't done just yet. But he's worked so well for Canberra. Max Green is, at the moment, the front runner for player of the match honours. There can be no doubt about that. But he has to see it out, as do Canberra, to get all 3 points here. And right now, Canberra Croatia are flying the flag for the capital NPL in a great way. Coming up against an NPL Victoria powerhouse. And showing so much resilience to concede early, to equalise, then to concede right again before half-time, equalise again on the other side of half-time. And through all that, persevere to now take the lead with just over 10 minutes plus stoppages to go. Sparrow couldn't direct his header into the field of play. I think Canberra might dig their heels in here, get in the trenches and defend, but they have to be cautious of all the threat that Preston do pose if they decide to go down that path. Switch of play. Brooks has gone the other side of his man now, and Tikachenko recovered very well after being beat initially. And Robert Tikachenko, another one of these new signings for Canberra Croatia from the Monero Panthers. You can see Brooks did extremely well with the first touch, but it was just heavy enough to invite Tikachenko back into the play. And for the man that made the 2025 Capital NPL Team of the Year as a defender, he showed all his quality there to recover. And now there's more cramp setting in, and Marcus Schroen and Matthew Goodbisher are having a bit of back and forth there. A less than friendly conversation. I think Marcus Schroen is perhaps complaining about Canberra Croatia players taking their time in getting back up, or perhaps engaging in a bit of the dark arts, and Matthew Goodbisher just stepping in to protect his team there. So Seb Arans in goal for Canberra has the task of getting this team through, leading them from the back. Spasesky and Goodbisher, the experienced centre-back tandem, will be very busy down the stretch, you'd think here. Foligno. Croatia fans finding their voice in full song at Deakin Stadium. And this will go down as a potentially historic result if it holds. As mentioned, Canberra Croatia, no wins on the national stage of the Australia Cup. The NPL finals have not been kind to them either. And Tikachenko, I think, is back on the ground there after just getting up a moment ago. The defender's starting to wear the scars of battle, and it's actually Jack Perage-Cullen. And he will not be in the away fans' good books. As we take a look at the replay as to what happened, you can just see players going down, fighting for the ball. Perage-Cullen and Schroen, and I think Spasesky. A bit of friendly fire there, centre back to full back. Friendly action between Connor Bell and Matt Goodbisher. And Perage-Cullen, you can see the pickle juice in the hands of the physio. And Jack Perage-Cullen, I think the face tells the story there. That cramp is not being kind to him at all. And you can just see Tom Dale, top of screen, telling the Preston fans, or sorry, Preston players rather, that it's all going to be added on in the end. You can see the pickle juice in the hands of the Canberra Croatia physio, so a bit of cramp as now he claps off the fans. So a substitution does go through for Dean Ugrinic. Jack Perage-Cullen is going to be replaced by David Shashelia.
Substitute for Canberra Croatia coming off number 22, Max Green, being replaced by number 10.
All the meanwhile, as all that action was happening, Marcus Schroen was given a card for dissent.
And coming off, number 5, Jack Kadage Cullen, being replaced by number 15, David Sheffield.
There's been another sub as well. Nick Pratazina is also out there now. So Keegan Vucetic. So plenty of subs have been using. See Keegan Vucetic in the number 8 jersey. Yoshida is brought down by Brandon Lawton, and Lawton will join his new captain, Connor Bell, in the book. And perhaps a bit of frustration is starting to seep into Preston's game right now. You can see Yoshida, just the easiest touch, around he goes. The slightest touch from Brandon Lawton, and you can see Brandon with a bit of a kick of frustration knowing he was beaten easily by Yoshida. So just over 5 minutes to go here for Preston to find the equalizer, maybe more. We should have a decent chunk of time added on. It's a confirmation of a couple of those subs. Max Green has been substituted. He has his brace. He's replaced by Nick Pratazina. As Preston go on the attack, seen away, only as far as Brandon Lawton. Could be set for a bit of a late barrage here from Preston. Foligno slipping up, invited the defence. Has it back at his feet, Nick Pratazina there. So one goal-scoring winger on for another for Canberra. Pratazina, 20 goals in the Capital NPL, the most in that competition. And you'd think if he or anyone from Canberra can find a fourth, that might be all 3 points and plenty of celebrations for this club that has waited so long for their first win on the national stage. Not just in this competition, which is brand new, but the Australia Cup as well. Let's see what Preston can do here. Foligno goes for the short option. Back with Schroen. Lawton now at the base of midfield. Has to go in a hurry because there are Canberra players hunting for the ball. Sparrow and Vucetic were the two players that were hungry. Colbertaldo eventually wins it back convincingly. Pratazina can't get to it ahead of Damian Bozanovsky, who of course is still on a yellow card that he is carrying from the first half. Brooks and Lawton link up. It's going to need something from Preston Lions here. They now have to move the ball quickly with how they're set. Canberra Croatia, that is, at the moment. Bozanovsky to Matt Bozanovsky, rather, to his brother Damien. Got to keep distinguishing between them. And half expected Damien to be substituted given his booking, but he's been clean and tidy so far. Even if the Preston defence have conceded 2 goals in the second 45. Here is Nick Pratazina. Dragged down, and well, there's a bit of extras from Sparrow to Jonas Markovsky, and Dean Ugrinic is just getting in the way. I think he has the hands out there trying to calm down his players. But here is Nick Pratazina, a young player with so much potential. His brother Michael in action for Sydney United 58, fellow Croatian club in the Australian Championship. Pratazina couldn't keep it in. Foligno will take this throw. Reminder, more games coming up after this. Not done yet in the Australian Championship. All those 4:30 kickoffs to come your way. Yoshida lets it bounce. That invites Stefan Ningro out of the back line. Vucetic. 2 substitutes going at it there between him and Lawton. Vucetic will press onto Scott, who does take that touch, but had enough time and space for Preston to play out. So 2 minutes of regular time remain. What do Preston have? Do they have one last throw of the dice here? They scored late in the first half. Basically the last kick of the first half. And coming into this game, a draw perhaps wouldn't have been enough for them. They would have wanted to come out and win it. Lawton, good skill, but still has the ball. Lawton almost lost it, but does have it. Markovski at full stretch could bring it down. Now it's with Brooks. What can he do, the team's top scorer from the NPL season? And an outside arm is left by Shoki Yoshida. So Stefan Negro will take this free kick. And the numbers will get forward here for the Preston Lions. So take a look on the replay. Brooks faked the cross. Goes back to Stefan Negro, and yeah, there's that outstretched arm from Shoki Yoshida, who knows couldn't have much to complain about there. All eyes will be on the fourth official, Jake Rose, very soon as to how much time will be added on. Stefan Negro, 2 in the wall for Seb Arans. Preston looking for this equalizer. It's pinballing around in the area, back to Brooks. Body's in the way, Markovski lets fly. As they scramble, Foligno tries a half effort. And all hands to the pump for Canberra Croatia as they defended that somehow. Still here, and another shot through. Falls wide of the goal from Oliver Kublai, already has one. And a yellow card is brandished to Seb Arans in back play, meanwhile off screen as he takes his time. So 5 minutes of time added on. No surprises there. And Matthew Gerbesher down on his haunches. Seb Arans confirmation of that booking, the goalkeeper. They're just taking his time getting the ball and time wasting a little bit perhaps. So time is the friend of Canberra Croatia right now. Down the line they go, trying to soak up as many seconds as they can. Do Preston have one more big chance off the arm of Markovski as he was looking to press? And there's Jonas Markovski. And so on the live ladder, this result, if it holds, would put Canberra Croatia top of the group. Of course, there's one more game still to play. Another game between Northwest Sydney Spirit FC and Avondale will kick off at 4:30 in Group C. They head to the Arctic Circle. There's another free kick. Connor Bell wants to get back on his feet quickly. He wants to try and jog it off. And there's been a yellow card here. Cole Bataldo is pleading his innocence. I think this might be for kicking the ball away and trying to waste more time, but he has no complaints there. So Cole Bataldo has a goal to his name, has a yellow card to his name. Preston here. They try a looping ball into the box. Pratazina just sends it up towards his striker, which is Sparrow. Cole Bataldo anywhere will do, anywhere that's not Canberra Croatia's own 18-yard box right now. Lawton looking up ahead of him. Beats his man and goes inside. Stefan Negro can put in a good ball if he wants. I'll be a bit more patient. They won't want the low percentage option here, Preston. They'll want to make sure of it. 2.5 minutes at least remaining here at Deakin Stadium. Canberra Croatia on the verge of a massive result at home. Cole Bataldo allows it to bounce and then nods it back forward. Sparrow is trying to get the other side of Bozanovski. Pratazina races through, and Sparrow and Bozanovski, both Bozanovski brothers, are coming to each other's aid there. Sparrow got tangled up with Matt Bozanovski, who was clean in winning the ball. Sparrow was trying his best to beat him. You can see he's giving up a bit of size in that matchup, and he drags him down there, Matt Sparrow. And Matt Bozanovski Daniel Sparrow. Matt Bozanowski had a bit of an extra arm in, which I think Daniel Sparrow wasn't too happy about. And then David Bozanowski was coming across to diffuse the situation. As Vucetic plays it back for Yoshido. Good combinations there. If Vucetic can get to it, sliding through, he couldn't. Lawton, 1.5 at least remaining. Can Canberra hold out? Can Preston find this late equalizer? We've seen so much late drama in this competition as Lawton and Colbertaldo are all together. And now Colbertaldo has to be careful he doesn't get tangled up in any extracurriculars, because he is, of course, not a booking himself, but this is the passion of the Australian Championship. Lawton and Colbertaldo, it's rather comical, just players going at it, but it's all in the favour of Canberra Croatia. They want the ball to stop. They want the clock to keep running. So can they hold on here, Canberra? And for Preston, they're staring down the barrel of potentially going 2 games without a win to start. 30 seconds of the 5 remaining. I dare say we'll have a lot more than that still to go. We've had some stoppages during extra time, which might mean that Tom Dale and Jake Rose, the officiating crew, will add some more on. Gerbischer heads it far and away out to Nick Pratazina. Here is Colbertaldo looking behind. Could Shoki Yoshida get onto it? It's as good as a clearance for Canberra. Preston not finding a way through just yet. Time is running out at the referee's discretion here. What do Preston have? Can they find this late equaliser? It's with Brooks, crossing back post! And full time at Deakin Stadium. It's a famous result for Canberra Croatia. They get their long-awaited win on the national stage. Trailed 2-1 at half-time. A great second half. Goals to Max Green, a couple of them. Will go down as the story of the day. Preston pushed, but ultimately couldn't breach Canberra's goal in the second half. And it's a result that sees Canberra go to 4 points in Group C. As we wrap it up here from Deakin Stadium, Canberra 3, Preston Lions 2. And there are the Canberra Croatia players celebrating with their fans. Such great scenes here at Deakin Stadium. Absolutely loving it, other fans. Haven't tasted victory in the Australia Cup. The NPL finals have been difficult. But that is a real grinded out performance by Canberra Croatia. The man on screen, Max Green, will go down as the player of the day, no doubt. 2 goals to him. And aside from his goals, was just consistently a threat down that right wing. As the celebrations will continue. As we'll take you through all the goals, all 5 of them of the day here at Deakin Stadium. What a game it has been on your Sunday. Here was the first for Preston Lions. Adisu Bayu opening the scoring on debut. And Preston were feeling good in the first half. There is Ahmed Shaibu picking up the assist for Colbertaldo's goal. A nice goal taken into the bottom corner, which would bring things back on level terms, but it would be a bit of late action in the first half. Because Preston Lions would soon be back, and they would equalise through Oliver Kubelay's first goal for the club. Bodies flying everywhere inside the 6-yard box. It comes out to Kubalay, pokes it over the top of the keeper, and gives Preston the advantage into half-time. Those were the goals for Preston. They wouldn't be able to score again in the second, despite a lot of pressure. And coming out of the break, how about this from Max Green, just waltzing through the defence and finishing past Scott. He got a goal which was due reward for how good his performance was even before that. A good finish by Max Green. And that wouldn't be his last, because another one was coming his way very soon. Cries of handball, which maybe distracted the defence. Green didn't care slotted it past Ryan Scott to give Canberra their first lead of the game. After trailing 1-0 and 2-1, they would come back to win by 3-2 in their first game at home in the Australian Championship. And it's all in on the celebration. Great scenes at Deakin Stadium. We'll take a look at the stats for you as we wrap up all the action here from Deakin Stadium. There they are. 13 shots to 9, 8 to 6, all in favour, on target that is, all in favour of Canberra Croatia. It was that second half performance that told the story. They were just consistently piling on, and in the end were able to find 2. Total of 6 yellow cards between the teams, showing what was a very hard-fought battle. But in the end, it'll go down as a good victory for Canberra Croatia. Let's take a look at the fixtures now. A reminder, that whole slate of games coming for you at 4:30 today. A couple of games with Northwest Sydney Spirit FC and Avondale. Bayswater City and the Metro Stars will kick off at 4:30. That game over at Jubilee Stadium in Cogra has finished 3-2. Another upset win for the Broadmeadow Magic. That is a massive result for them. And perhaps worrying signs for Olympic as they go 0 points to start their first 2 games. Of course, another game as well at 4:30 between South Melbourne and Moreton City Excelsior. So 3 for you to choose from on your Sunday serving on SBS On Demand. And the action is only getting better here in the Australian Championship. So many high-scoring games. 2 5-goal thrillers so far on Sunday. A couple of 4-0s already. Here is how it is all shaking up across the first 2 groups. Group A and Group B. South Melbourne and Moreton City on 3 points. Broadmeadow joining them on 3, picking up that win against Sydney Olympic. There is Group B with Heidelberg with a perfect record so far with 2 wins, trailed by Marconi and Wollongong. There is Group C, this group. Avondale currently top with that better goal difference over Canberra Croatia, but Canberra getting the win over Preston makes things very, very interesting already on match day 2 of 6 in Group C. Quick look at Group D for you as well, with West Apia flexing their muscle early in this one. And so the fans will celebrate long into the night at Deakin Stadium. A great result for Canberra Croatia as we say goodbye from the nation's capital. I've been Will Constantinides. An absolute pleasure bringing you this one on SBS On Demand as we finish up Canberra Croatia 3, Preston Lions 2.